Romaine lettuce may help to maintain heart and cardiovascular health. The vegetable contains an adequate level of potassium, fiber, and folate which help to ensure this function. Romaine lettuce contains vitamin A which helps to maintain eye health. Romaine lettuce manage glycemia. A recent study about the leafy green vegetable showed that adding romaine lettuce to a meal can lower postprandial blood glucose response, improving postprandial metabolism. That is an important vegetable property, since postprandial hyperglycemia is one of the earliest signs of problems with glycemic control associated with type 2 diabetes. Romaine lettuce may contain heavy metals such as cadmium, which could be dangerous to human health. The vegetable has been linked to the outbreak of bacteria infection such as E. coli in some regions and should be properly and hygienically prepared. Romaine lettuce can get contaminated with E. coli bacteria. This contamination is common for leafy greens, due to the fact that it grows near the ground in open fields and are therefore susceptible to the germs from soil, animal, and water. One way to reduce this risk is through the proper washing of the vegetable. A serving of romaine lettuce is 1 cup raw portion. About 3 to 5 servings of vegetables should be consumed in a day. Diet should be diversified by incorporating other vegetables into the diet. American Heart Association recommends eating 5 raw leafy vegetable servings per day. A serving of romaine lettuce is a cup, which contains approximately 50 grams of the vegetable. Long-term intake of leafy greens is certainly advisable. Before eating the vegetable, it is always important to rinse the leafy greens under running water and to rub the surface of the leaves using your hands.